There is no alternative. That was the claim today from the Chancellor, saying the government gave complete backing to the Bank of England in its bid to bring down inflation by raising interest rates.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, had predicted that the UK would face economic difficulties this year and rank at the bottom among the world's largest advanced economies. These economies play a significant role in global trade and finance. However, during the pandemic recovery in 2022, the UK managed to lead this group. The IMF now predicts that the UK's economy will reduce by 0.3% in 2023, but expects it to grow by 1% in 2024. In today's video, we'll take a look at why the UK's financial and economic situation is the way it is right now, and the future it holds compared to other big countries. After the IMF prediction, they also gave reasons for Britain's bad economy. Some of the reasons they gave were the high gas prices, interest rates going up, and not doing well in trading with other countries. The IMF thinks that the economy will get a little bit worse next year, but then it will start to get better again. This means that the country's money and businesses are not doing as well as they should be. But there is hope for improvement in the future. Think of the UK's economy as a big piggy bank that holds all the money that people earn and spend. In 2021, the piggy bank didn't fill up as much as people thought it would. Even though some money was put in, it wasn't as much as everyone hoped for. This means that the UK didn't make as much progress in getting better as people expected. This begs the question, why is the UK struggling to regain its pre-pandemic economic strength? The UK is a country that makes a lot of money by buying and selling things with other countries. But since the pandemic started, it has been really hard for the UK to make as much money as it used to. Some of the reasons are, firstly, the UK has been using a lot of gas to keep homes warm during the pandemic, and the price of gas has gone up. This means that it costs more money to keep homes warm. Secondly, the UK has been borrowing money from banks, and the banks have started to charge more interest on the money they lend. This means that it costs more to borrow money. Lastly, the UK has not been able to buy and sell as much from and with other countries as it used to because of the pandemic. This means that the UK hasn't been making as much money as it used to. The financial crisis that happened in 2007 in the United States and the United Kingdom was a big problem for both countries. It caused a lot of economic trouble and made people question the things they thought they knew about how the economy works. In the UK, the crisis was really bad, and it caused a recession that lasted for a long time. But the government took action as soon as they saw the problem, and they tried to fix things. Apart from the pandemic's effect on the economy, the UK government is also working on dealing with other important problems, such as the role of Brexit in the UK's political balance. Brexit means that the UK decided to leave the European Union, the EU. It was like when you decide to leave a club or group. This decision had a big impact on the UK's political balance. It changed how the UK works with other countries and made some people happy and others worried. Before Brexit, the UK was part of the EU, which meant they worked together on things like trade and laws. But after Brexit, the UK had to make its own rules and deals with other countries. This was a big challenge because they had to figure out new ways to trade and cooperate with other nations. Some people thought Brexit was a good idea because they wanted the UK to have more control over its laws and decisions. Others were worried because they thought it might make things harder for the UK to trade with other countries. It's like when you leave a group of friends and have to make new friends on your own. Brexit also affected the political balance in the UK. It caused some disagreements between different groups of people. Some politicians wanted to leave the EU, while others wanted to stay. This made it harder for everyone to agree on important decisions. Brexit changed the way the UK works with other countries and made some people happy and others worried. It's like when you make a big change in your life, it can be exciting but also a little scary. The UK is still figuring out how to make the best of Brexit and find its new place in the world. Global inflation. Did you know that there are special banks called central banks that help control the prices of things we buy? In countries like the UK, the US, and Europe, these banks have been raising interest rates to keep prices from going up too fast. And when prices go up too quickly, it causes inflation. Right now, in the UK, the price of things like energy and food has been going up a lot. That's why the Bank of England, which is the central bank in the UK, has been increasing interest rates. Last month, they raised the rates to 4.25%. By doing this, the central bank hopes to slow down the rate at which prices are rising, so that things stay affordable for everyone. It's like trying to balance the prices of things so we can all keep buying what we need without becoming too expensive. In 2013, after much consideration, the United Kingdom decided to make new rules for how to take care of money. One thing they did was say it's okay for the Bank of England to use special tools they didn't use before, so they can fix things better. They figured out how to make sure prices don't change too much and that people have enough money to buy things. Now, everyone is working together to make sure money helps everyone have what they need. Weak national growth. The UK's money situation has hardly gotten better since 2019, before the COVID happened. In May, the money pot got a tiny bit smaller, about 0.1%. This happened partly because there was a special day off for the King's big celebration, so people didn't work as much as usual. Things have been getting more expensive, and the cost of borrowing money has gone up. This is making it a bit tricky for families and businesses. In a country like the UK, people also have to work efficiently to make the country strong and prosperous. Productivity is like building with Legos. It's about using our time and resources wisely to make things. When people work hard and smart, they can make more things in less time. But in the UK, the experts have noticed that people aren't making things as quickly as they used to, and they have termed it a stagnating productivity. Having a strong and growing economy is important because it creates jobs and makes life better for everyone. When the economy is doing well, it means more people get hired by companies and people have more money to spend. Some smart groups like the International Monetary Fund and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development say that even though money can't buy happiness, it helps us live better lives. An expert named Andy Haldane used to work at a big bank, and he said that while some things that make us happy aren't counted in the money numbers, growth still matters. He said that throughout history, when the economy grows, it makes us healthier, wealthier, and happier. One way the economy gets better is through something called productivity growth. This means that businesses get better at making things, so they can pay their workers more. This is why a famous economist, Paul Krugman, once said, "Productivity isn't everything, but in the long run, it is almost everything." Housing crisis. The leaders in the UK who make important money decisions are really worried right now. This happened because they raised the interest rates, which are like the cost of borrowing money, and this made factories make fewer things. Also, the prices of houses dropped a lot, which hasn't happened this much since a big money problem in the late 2000s. People are starting to see that because they raised the Bank of England's main interest rate 14 times, it's making the economy slow down. The checks they do every month to see how factories and houses are doing show that things might be tough in the coming months. Just like how you need your own space in your room, everyone needs a special space they can call home. In the UK, there's a little problem. There aren't as many houses as there should be for all the people who want them. This can make it tricky for families to find a place to live. When there aren't enough houses, families might have to squeeze into smaller spaces, or some might not find a home at all. A special report from S&P Global and the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply said that the outlook for factories and businesses in the UK is one of the weakest they've seen, except for times when there were really big money problems like the global crisis in the 2000s and the COVID-19 pandemic. A survey in 2020 asked experts about what could help the country grow and be more productive. Most of the experts said that investing in education and helping people learn new skills would be a really good idea. They also thought that spending money on important things like roads and buildings and having good rules for businesses were also good ways to help. These experts believe that in the 2010s, the main reason the country wasn't growing as much was because people weren't buying as much stuff. Government money-saving plans or changes because of Brexit. Interestingly, the experts didn't think that just using money policies would be the best way to help the economy grow in the future. They thought other ideas, like investing in education and improving rules for businesses, would work better. David Gauck, who used to help with money decisions for the Conservatives, thinks they have a good chance at winning the next election if people's lives are getting better and the cost of borrowing money goes down. He said the money situation in 2023 has been better than the UK government thought, but if prices continue to rise, the bank has to do more to stop it. Do you see the UK government saving its country from any emergency crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.